We're live? Charlemagne, we live? Alright, so we're back on. Let the link go ahead and flourish. Get it back out. And we're going to finish up the brother's question. Which is a good question because we've been touching over the law. We touched over the law yesterday. Go into your settings and go into sound. Huh? Right. So, we're waiting to everybody get on real quick, and then we're going to finish this brother's question. Let me know when they're getting back in there. Forgive me, I'm going on a... Y'all, so we got them on yet? So watch now. Get him so he won't trip over the mic and then everything disconnects. And then we have to start everything again. So we got everybody back on there yet? We're just waiting for brothers and sisters to get back in. And we're going to finish up this brother's question on the Sabbath.
No, it's not the sound that is on the mic. It's this beat sound.
You guys, they coming back in there yet? Okay. I want at least the brother to come back in before we start. Okay, y'all sent the link out? Y'all sent it out in the link? Yeah, you can't hear it. Okay, so let me go on. I mean, I'll answer his question, and if he can go back on. Okay, so, all right, so we're talking about the Sabbath, and the brother had a question in Exodus. So my question before we got cut off was, if Yahushua knew the law, was a keeper of the law, why didn't Yahushua go and tell those men he was what? The 12 disciples. Hey, we're finna go out, right? And go preach and teach. Because the excuse can't be like, well, they was just hungry. Because I can't use that. According to how the Pharisee mind thinks, right? Brother, you're working on the Sabbath, right? We get that Pharisee mind today. Like, so they'll question, well, how come y'all eating or warming up food on the Sabbath, right? So, isn't it fair to do the same thing to Christ? It'd be fair to say, okay, why are you working on the Sabbath? Why are you doing and getting this food on the Sabbath? And that's what the Pharisees asked them. But you see, why the Pharisees were wrong was that they didn't understand the Sabbath. Now let's look at it. We're dealing with the Son of the Most High. Where are we at? The scripture I asked for.
This is St. John, chapter 13, verse 15.
So we're going to go to St. John 13, 15. Then we're going to go back to Matthew's 12. So, of course, we're supposed to keep the Sabbath, but we're supposed to keep the Sabbath through the clarity and understanding how Yahushua gave us the understanding. Remember, if y'all got this class yesterday, we didn't understand the law. There's a lot of things in the law Israelites still don't get. It says that they still have the veil on their face. That's what we went over yesterday's in Hebrews. So, one moment, Moses is telling us, make sure your food is prepared before, right? Then Yahushua, he's not doing that. He don't got his food prepared. So the Pharisees took that opportunity, like they use in all opportunities, to put him on blast. Right? So read this. Where you at?
John chapter 13, verse 15.
Uh-huh.
For I have given you an example that you should do as I have done to you.
Okay, and the reason why I had to go here is because somebody told me, asking the same question. I said, well, what did Yahweh Shai do? He said, well, that was Yahweh Shai. I'm like, nah, bruh, it don't work like that. Everything Yahweh Shai is doing is for an example. So that means that you don't understand how the Sabbath is supposed to be performed and what is lawful on the Sabbath. So this is what he was going back and forth with the Pharisees about. The same question, right? Is it lawful to cook on the Sabbath? Why you don't got your stuff prepared the day before? We had a brother, are y'all using the microwave on the Sabbath? Then we had to tell him, well, you're starting up your car on the Sabbath. You see how dumb it gets? It gets stupid. Like, well, bro, you're starting your car on the Sabbath. You drove over here on the Sabbath. You know what I mean? It's like, but it's those things where that mind state, not understanding the law, has us confused. But if we go to the example, then we know how to serve the Sabbath. Because you can't say, oh, Yahweh Shai, he's just using an excuse because he was in a captivity. No, he wasn't using an excuse because he's in captivity. Yahweh Shai is showing us the example. Okay? So read it again.
For I have given you an example.
Right?
That you should do as I have done to you.
Right. So when it comes to everything, we're looking at how Yahweh Shai dealt. We're looking at how he functioned, how he followed the laws, how he dealt with the brothers. So go back to Matthew 12 and let's look at the example.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
At that time, Jesus went on the Sabbath day through the corn.
Right.
And his disciples were in hungry.
Right.
And began to pluck the ears of corn.
So Yahweh Shai checked him, said, brother, what the hell is your problem, Mark? You should have got that done the day before. The other scripture says he knew the hearts of men. So he already knew what was going to be done. So these are the questions you got to ask yourself to get clarity on the law and the understanding of the scriptures. Yahweh Shai knew what he was doing. Go ahead.
And to eat.
Uh-huh. And to what?
And to eat.
Go ahead.
But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day.
There you go. So they're doing what is not lawful on the Sabbath. Right? According to their understanding. Because they're thinking, why didn't they prepare the food the day before? Right? What did Yahweh Shai say? Go ahead.
Verse 3. But he said unto them, have you not read what David did?
Whoa, 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 Yahweh Shai. You just use an example. We're not talking about David. We're not talking about David. We're talking about you. Could you do that to Yahweh Shai? No, unless you're a dumb nigga. You're going to say, okay, let me listen. Right? Let me hear what he's saying. And this is what we have to understand. He did everything for an example. This was to pull their card to show the Pharisees that you think you're following the Sabbath the correct way. You are not. You think you're doing brotherhood the correct way. You are not. You think you're giving alms the correct way. You are not. You think you're doing the law the right way. You are not. So read on down.
But he said unto them, have you not read what David did when he was in hunger, and they that were with him?
Right. Well, that was David, That's not you. You're not David. Why is Yahweh Shai reminding him about David? For an excuse or to show him through the Bible, through the Torah, the edification on the law, the understanding of the law. So I talked to another brother and we got in the same conversation. I'm going to tell y'all, this is a true story. I can show you the text. And he was like, he was talking about the law. And so I asked him, I said, so you don't do no work on the Sabbath? He said, no. He said, once in a while, I'll sweep here. I said, hold on, Ak. I'm like, wait a minute. You just said no. See, the point is this. You don't have to be hypocritical. Yahweh Shai already laid down the law. You don't have to be hypocritical. You don't have to say you're keeping the law and then break what you think you're keeping the right way. You don't got to do that. All we got to do is go to the Bible and see what is the correct way. Right? That's why I said that I'm going into this because it kind of goes off the class yesterday. It's actually a good question. Go ahead.
Verse 4. How he entered into the house of God and did eat the shewbread.
Right, because brothers will say, well, that was during that time. That was only because David was on the run. Then why is Yahweh Shai using the example? If that was only pertaining to David, and if it wasn't for edification, why is Yahweh Shai using that to edify us on the Sabbath? Why did he even bring that point up? He brought that point up to show you in certain instances how the law was performed. That's why he brought that up. Not for an excuse, not because he was in Roman captivity and he couldn't tell the brothers to make sure they prepared their food the day before. He was showing you that the law, in many instances in the Torah, how it was kept and how the spirituality of things is the right way to keep things. Y'all get that? Go ahead.
How he entered into the house of God and did eat the shewbread, which was not lawful for him to eat.
So he did a few things that wasn't lawful. On the Sabbath, he went in and ate the shewbread. So he did a few different things. Go ahead.
Neither for them which were with him,
right,
but only for the priests.
Go ahead.
Or had he not read?
Wait a minute. So he's going through these instances to edify us. That, hold that, go to Romans 7 and verse 14. Go to Romans 7 verse 14. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 7 verse 14.
Go ahead.
For we know that the law is spiritual.
So there's moments, man, where the Most High in the law has showed us spiritual things, but we didn't understand them. So I'm going to once again reiterate the scripture we went over yesterday. He said the veil, when it comes to the law, the covenant, right? They still have that over their face, covering them, blinding them to the understanding of the commandments, understanding of the law. So I want to reiterate that Yahweh Shai is not coming up with excuses. He's giving us edification. Go ahead.
But I am carnal, sold under sin.
Right. Now jump back. Come on. Jump back to 12. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 12 and verse 5. Or have you not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? Right.
So why is he saying that? Now think about this. If you repeated that same exact thing to somebody here in this age, and that brother thought he knew the law, what would he say? They were doing the work of the Most High. Con? Right. When we go out on the Sabbath, what is our excuse? We're doing the work of the Most High. What did Yahweh Shai say they were doing?
But I say unto you, that in this place is one greater than the temple.
No, bro. What did Yahweh Shai say they were doing? No, I'm asking you to read at the instance what Yahweh Shai said they were doing.
Or have you not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath?
So what did they do?
profaned the Sabbath.
According to him, they profaned the Sabbath doing the work of the law. Right? Why did he use that word profane? That's a harsh word. Right? That's a harsh word. So, since everybody is understanding what's going on here, I'm going to ask y'all questions about what we're talking about. So the brother asked a question about, in the law it tells us about cooking the day before. Why is it that certain Israelites don't do that? Cook the day before and have their food prepared. Right? Why? Is that necessary according to the law? We come over here to Matthew 12 and find out Yahushua didn't have the disciples prepare their food the day before. Why? And then why is Yahushua coming back with excuses? If you want to use that word. Well, in actuality, he's not. He's given us clarity about the Sabbath day. This specific point is about the Sabbath day. Y'all get this? Y'all understand it? Go ahead, read.
And are blameless.
And are what?
Blameless.
Right. Why are they blameless? You ready to pick back up now? You didn't understand, did you? You didn't understand what I was saying?
No, I didn't know how you was trying to break it down.
Well, think about what I was saying. What did Yahushua say that they were doing on the Sabbath? Profaning it. That's harsh.
God, I have the definition.
Profane what?
Is to treat someone or something disrespectful, especially something sacred.
Now, why did he say that? Because according to them, you don't supposed to do nothing on the Sabbath. But the priests are themselves profaning the Sabbath. So he's giving us understanding on how they didn't see these things in the law. They weren't spiritual enough to say, wait a minute, look at Moses. Look at the priests. What are you talking about? This is how the Sabbath. Then, the thing about the Pharisees, they were hypocritical because they themselves wasn't keeping the Sabbath to its full ability. And this is what we're finding out in this chapter. Go ahead.
Verse 6.
But
I say unto you, that in this place is one greater than the temple.
Right.
But if ye had known what this needed, I will have mercy.
Right.
And not sacrifice.
Right. Go ahead.
You would not have condemned the guiltless.
Right. So if you knew who you were talking to, just based on the merit of I created the Sabbath alone, you wouldn't have came to me like that. Right? But Yahushua had to still school them. Go ahead.
Verse 8. For the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath day.
Right. Read.
And when he was departed thence, he went into their synagogue.
Right.
And behold, there was a man which had his hand withered.
Right. Now, once again, Yahushua went into the synagogue on the Sabbath. Usually all these people that were sick, when you go through the scriptures, did they just get sick the week Yahushua came on the scene? They were sick from what? A lot of them were sick, deaf, dumb, blind, spirits from birth. So they had this from birth, right? Rosh, read.
And they asked him, saying, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath days?
Right. So is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? Because if you're going to follow the law technically, according to what you thought was technical, and I say you thought, because the understanding of the law was there, but you didn't have it, right? The understanding of the law was there for the Pharisees, but they didn't have it. It's been there. I went over that yesterday when showing you that David, he understood the law spiritually, right? So think about this. This person is what? Read that part again.
And behold, there was a man which had his hand withered.
Right.
And they asked him, saying, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day?
Yeah, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? This man had the hand withered. It probably was from birth. Right? Now, or it could have happened. It could have happened the day or 2 days before. Let's just say that, right? It could be either or, right? Yahushua steps on the scene. Go ahead.
That they might accuse him.
Right?
And he said unto them,
Right?
What man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep?
Stop. First, let's ask this. Why couldn't he just wait after the Sabbath? If the law said you were to prepare your food before the Sabbath and not to do this work on the Sabbath, why didn't Yahushua say, you know what, brothers, my apostles, don't pick no corn because I already know what's going to happen. First of all, why are y'all picking corn on the Sabbath anyway? Let me check y'all. And Yahushua checked the apostles, but he didn't, because it was okay. It was lawful to do righteousness, good, to feed yourself on the Sabbath. You see that? Now let's go back to this. The healing, right? Another thing that you weren't supposed to do on the Sabbath. They knew that. You're doing extra work and extra servile work on the Sabbath, right? Why didn't Yahushua just say, you know what? We're going to wait till after the Sabbath. Sun's going to go down in a few hours. We'll wait. Why? Somebody answer that. Why didn't Yahushua, anybody? Why? He was doing the work of the Lord. That's an excuse, brother. He was showing compassion, but why could he not have done that after the Sabbath and followed the law? Oh. There you go. But that might, now, I like how you said that. The brother said there's nothing in the law that says you can't show compassion on the Sabbath. But that might take me going to go get a thing of water on the Sabbath and going to a brother and say, hey, you need this. See, see, you're missing the whole point. You're missing the whole point, because does me paying for it override the compassion? If that brother needs the water, I'm going to sit around there and ask somebody else to buy it? Or do I get the water and say, Ayok, you need this? Which one is better performing of the law? I love it, because this was Israelites. It's a hypocritical thing with Israel, because here's the thing. First of all, the brothers, Israelites don't keep the law to the most nth power. But they ride on this, oh, I'm keeping the law because I follow the Sabbath. If based on the merit alone that you're breaking all the other laws and you're not perfect, but you're trying to ride on this, oh, if I go by this and show compassion on my brother, I'm going to be doing wicked? No, brother, no. That's why Yahushua was showing them it's okay to do good. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. That's why he goes through the list of examples, the list of excuses. Why? Because he goes from David, then he jumps to other ones, then he jumps to the priests. Why? Because there were different instances, but still showing you how the Sabbath day was so-called profane by the priests. It wasn't profane. He used that harsh word to show us that, no, you can do righteousness, goodness on the Sabbath. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're dying of thirst and you're having a heart attack, let me show you another example. You got kids? Your kid falls down, breaks his leg, right? Trips over something, bumps the back of his head on the thing. Are you going to take him to the hospital or not? But you're breaking the law. You see how when it fits you, when it fits Israel, we will do it, right? Oh, you got to use wisdom, but you're still, you do got to use wisdom, but you're still breaking the law. We don't have to be hypocritical. All we got to do is follow what Yahushua said. If Yahushua was doing work on the Sabbath and showing them why it was okay, if Yahushua was having these men go pick corn on the Sabbath and eat, then obviously it wasn't against the law.
It's like when you give birth on the Sabbath.
All of that.
All of it.
All of it. But still, it's still on the Sabbath. And I'm going to go to another example pertaining to that. Watch. Check this out. But let's go through this list. Because this is a good, we're at Matthew's 12. With 12 and 11. So, you know, it's those things that brothers have to see that, yeah, you can try to justify yourself over here, but over here, you're going to be wrong. You can keep the Sabbath correctly. Like I said, we might be able to say, you know what? We can cook the day before, but our business location might not be shut down on the Sabbath because they say you can't close your location. Or the brother that's a trucker, he might have to drive on the Sabbath, right? And he might have to do some servile work on the Sabbath. Is he condemned? According to Yahweh Shai, no, he's not condemned. That's what this is about. The point is that when people ask this, they want to know if they're keeping the law righteously. If we don't go to Yahweh Shai and see his example in following the law, then how are we going to know if we are correct in keeping it? Like I said, could he not told those brothers, hey, make sure you guys got your corn set up the day before? Could he not have done that? Why didn't he do it? Because it wasn't unlawful. Yahweh Shai didn't sin once. Yahweh Shai didn't sin once. It was not unlawful for them to eat that corn and to walk through and grab it. The Pharisees thought it was unlawful because they didn't understand the law. And that's why a lot of brothers still in that mode, okay, I'm going to sit here in one place. You think Yahweh Shai, the Most High, wants you to sit there in one place and that's keeping the law? First of all, the law was about a holy gathering, a holy convocation. Huh? When you go back to it, it says, these are the holy convocations I will give you. And it says the Sabbath comes down and tells you the 7 days. You know what a gathering is? I mean, a convocation. I gave it away. Yeah, a convocation is a gathering. So we were supposed to be gathering, getting together, not sitting in one room and be like, okay. Right? One brother was drinking. We joke about this. He said, I would drink and throw my drink on the floor and not pick it up till after the Sabbath. But that's because that Pharisee mind state was not clarified through Yahweh Shai. It's not given understanding. Like I said, just go through the chapter and ask yourself, oh, is Yahweh Shai making excuses or is he giving us edification? Right? He's not making excuses. Yahweh Shai is the Lord of the Sabbath. He's being an example. Read on, come on.
And he said unto them, what man shall there be among you,
right,
that shall have one sheep, and if it fall into a pit?
Right, now, you know why I read this chapter from verse 1 on down? So you can understand in context. He wasn't just using one moment in the law. When he pointed out David, that was one point in the law. When he pointed out the priests, that was another point in the law. Right? There was many points in the law. He had to show them why the Sabbath how the Sabbath had to be kept. Now, which one of you having a sheep? Go ahead.
And if it fall into a pit,
right,
on the Sabbath,
go ahead.
Will he not lay hold on it?
Now, I just asked you the same question. I didn't say sheep. I said your daughter or your son. And the first response is, yeah. Hell yeah, I'll take her to the doctor, but you'll be breaking the Sabbath. You technically will, if in that Pharisee mind state is what I'm saying.
Yeah, if you really think about it, in a sense, you are breaking it, but you also keeping the commandment at the same time too, because you're not supposed to not let nothing bad happen to your brother.
So why is Yahweh Shai using this example about the sheep, your oxen in a ditch?
The same thing, because that's your property, not to sit there and let it die on the side.
There you go. Now he came back and said, how much more your life? If a brother is working and he has to work, is it unlawful, wrong? It can be, because there you go. But I'm not going to say because of captivity. I'm going to say, look at what Yahweh Shai did. He was in captivity too. But look at what he was bringing out. It wasn't because he was in captivity. It was the proper way to celebrate the Sabbath. It wasn't excuses he's going through. It was understanding. I keep saying that because that's what brothers, oh, that's an excuse. Brothers using an excuse, you in captivity. No, I ain't got to even say that. I'm going to say what Yahweh Shai said. Is it lawful to do these things on the Sabbath? Right? Your conscience can be clear to where brothers and sisters' conscience can be clear. We got a sister that got some work and do things. Brothers that work got to work and do things on the Sabbath. We have to work 6 days a week, 7 days a week. The only day you probably do get off is Sunday, because they did that way for a reason. So are they going to walk around with this beat up conscience? And do they supposed to walk around and say, damn, I'm breaking the law? When Yahweh Shai said you're not? Nah. We shouldn't have them thinking like that. Then, on the other hand, the Pharisee, a brother that think, oh, you breaking the Sabbath. Wait a minute. So you got your camera equipment, street speaking equipment. You picked all this stuff up. You brought it out in the street. But because a brother buys a quart of water, he's breaking the law, but you're not? Israelites got it twisted, bruh. We got it twisted. This is what I was saying about the veil yesterday. They're blinded. You can't judge one way and then break the law in another way. This was the point he was saying. We'll touch on that Romans 3 a little bit. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 12 and verse 12.
Uh-huh.
How much then is a man better than a sheep?
A man is better than a sheep. Go ahead.
Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath.
It's lawful to do good on the Sabbath. It's lawful. You don't got to condemn yourself. You don't got to feel guilty. Go ahead.
Then said he to the man, stretch forth thine hand.
But Yahweh Shai still did it to defy that. To defy their mind. He did that. He could have said, I can wait till after the Sabbath. He did it to show them, like, you don't know what you're talking about. Stretch forth your hand, brother. You don't even know how to really serve the Sabbath. Because this ain't saying Yahweh Shai didn't keep the Sabbath. Yahweh Shai just kept the Sabbath according to how it was supposed to be kept. You are not keeping the Sabbath because you're technical and you don't understand. So what did Yahweh Shai have to come do? Show us how to keep the Sabbath. Go ahead.
And he stretched it forth.
Uh-huh.
And it was restored whole like as the other.
Right. Go ahead.
Then the Pharisees went out and held a council against him, how they might destroy him.
Right.
But when Jesus knew it.
Why? Why they wanted to destroy him? Because they think he's defying the Most High. This dude is healing people, first of all, and he's teaching them to break the law. So they killed them. That's why brothers, when they come around with that stupidity, it's like, brother, been in the truth too long for that foolishness. Don't come around here with that. Yahweh Shai is the leader, right? He came to give us understanding, right? If he was doing it, then we can do it. If he was showing us how to perform it, then that's the correct way. Come on, we ain't finished though. Hold that, go to John 7. 7:21, yeah.
When he came and he did that, he went against all of the brainwashing and manipulation that they put into the people.
Exactly.
And then they were saying, I know the people looking probably like, well, I said this, and this will happen if he did this, but he's still standing here and nothing happened.
Right.
So let's put their doctrine to shame.
Right.
So that's jealousy too.
Right. and brothers got to watch. The problem is that Yahweh, certain people didn't sit back and they actually watch this man and understand. What they did is just judge off of what they thought they knew, and it was incorrect. That's why when I go over this chapter, I pose that obvious question. Was that an excuse? Because brothers say that. Well, that's an excuse for you to defy. No, it's not. Or, why? I asked, well, why Yahweh Shai did it? Because, right, that blows your mind, right? Why didn't Yahweh Shai wait and to tell those brothers, go get your corn before the Sabbath? He had that power. See, it just shuts down all that stupidity. Read this. Come on.
John chapter 7, verse 21.
Go ahead.
Jesus answered and said unto them, I have done one work, and ye all marvel.
Right.
Moses therefore gave unto you circumcision, not because it is of Moses.
Go to 6:14. Come on, let's read 14. Let's get a little context of what's going on here. Go ahead.
John chapter 7, verse 14. Now about the midst of the feast, Jesus went up into the temple and taught.
Right.
And the Jews marveled, saying, how knoweth this man letters, having never learned?
Right.
Jesus answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of God or whether I speak of myself.
Go ahead.
He that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory, but he that seeketh his glory that sent him, the same is true.
That's why we got to watch when you get men saying they're the comforter, when you get men saying they're the voice of God. That's crazy. You promoting yourself more than the Most High. Go ahead.
And no unrighteousness is in him.
Go ahead.
Did not Moses give you the law?
Right.
And yet none of you keepeth the law?
You see that? So that's the point, that brothers, people, the Pharisees, they got to understand that, yeah, we're trying to keep the law. You fall short daily. And you don't understand how to really keep the law. You're just barely coming in understanding. That's why yesterday the point was a lot of Israelites take pride over the carnal aspect instead of the spiritual. So they'll argue with you about this, and it's not an argument. It's not an argument. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Yahweh Shai said he was the example. Why didn't Yahweh Shai tell them to pick corn before the Sabbath? Well, that's Yahweh Shai. Yeah, but he said he was the example. We're going to follow that. So why did he tell them to do it? They can't answer it, is what I'm saying. They can't answer it because they're in that Pharisee mind state of, no, you're supposed to just sit, or you're supposed to cook your food the day before. You can't light a match, right? Yahweh Shai did all of that, right? What?
No, God said, he said they took counsel to kill him on the Sabbath day.
They took counsel to kill. That's the point. But this is the niggerism with the being Israel. I told this story before. You had a brother in San Antonio, in our school in San Antonio. He seen the brother street speaking like up the street. So what did he do? He went and got some water for them. Went and took them the water. The same thing we were talking about. Took them the water. Brothers was like, did you buy that on the Sabbath? See, that's a Pharisee mind state. And they got to get that right. They got to clear their mind, because buy that on the Sabbath. So once again, my charity in the spirit, you don't see that it's not breaking the law, that it's within the law. Above all, if you would just see how Yahweh Shai moved, you would see it was right. It was technically right. So you err in both ways. But they didn't take the water. Now we're good. See, but why? Because it be that type of mentality that will kill your ass for the things that you don't even know about. The ones that hate on their own brother. That's why we got to be clear, man. Go ahead, read.
Why go ye about to kill me?
Right.
The people answered and said, thou art the devil, who goeth about to kill thee.
Right, because he knew the heart in them. He knew it was where their head was at. Go ahead.
Jesus answered and said unto them, I have done one work, and ye all marvel. Moses therefore gave unto you circumcision.
Right, so another excuse, and I'm using that word for a reason, because it's not an excuse. It's Yahweh Shai giving you edification. He said Moses did what?
Moses therefore gave unto you circumcision. Not because it is of Moses,
Right.
but of the Father.
Right.
And ye on the Sabbath day circumcise a man.
Check to everybody.
Shut up, man.
Once again, it's those moments that you realize that, no, you're not keeping the law with clarity, wisdom, and understanding. This Yahweh Shai is telling us how to keep the law. Go ahead.
Verse 23.
All right, let's go back. We're back. Go to 5, John 5:16. Go to John 5 and 16. Yeah, read that.
John chapter 5, verse 16.
Go, read 14.
John chapter 5 and verse 14.
Right.
Afterward, Jesus findeth him in the temple and said unto him, Behold, thou art made whole. Look, behold, thou art made whole. Sin no more, lest a worse thing come unto thee.
Go ahead.
The man departed and told the Jews that it was Jesus which had made him whole.
Right.
And therefore did the Jews persecute Jesus and sought to slay him, because he had done these things on the Sabbath day.
Right. He done it intentional on the Sabbath day. You sparking something in these men. See, so hopefully you're understanding more. What's the brother name again? I forgot his name. I'm sorry. What? Haderach. Hopefully you're understanding that the reason why in the law it was go get your food. When Moses was telling them that in Exodus, is because they didn't have nothing else to do. They were disobeying orders. They had the time. That's imagine us in our kingdom. You have the time. You have the freedom. And you just ain't following?
Yeah, that's blatant disrespect.
That was blatant disrespect. It didn't have nothing to do with it was wicked. It had something to do with it was wicked because you were being disobedient. Okay? Go to Matthew 5, verse 17.
The thing about that verse right there, verse 16, it talks about because the man told her that milk, that you go in the suit and kill someone on the Sabbath.
Not,
They said it was pursuing the slam, right? So you chasing somebody down to actually try to kill them.
hypocrites. What did he always tell the Pharisees? You're a hypocrite. You clean the outside, but you don't clean the inside. You're all about show, but you yourself don't keep the law. Watch, hold that. Before we go here, go to Romans. I quoted this yesterday, and this is why I went into this topic, because it was kind of a little good attachment to what we went over yesterday. Read this, Romans 3 and 1.
No. Romans chapter 3 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
What advantage then had the Jew?
Right.
Or what profit is there of circumcision?
Go ahead.
Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God. For what if some did not believe?
Hold on, wait. It's Romans. No. Rest this in. Where is this? It's Romans. Oh, it's 2. Sorry. Romans 2 and 17. Excuse me.
Romans chapter 2 verse 17.
Go ahead.
Behold, thou art called a Jew, and rested in the law.
Right, and this is what the Pharisees were doing. They were keeping the law, but not correctly. They weren't keeping the law mingled in the spirit. So Paul came back because he was a Pharisee, he kind of did what Yahushua was doing with them. Remember, Matthew 23, he went in. He says, you serpents, you vipers. He was going in on them. So, thou makest thy, go ahead.
And rested in the law.
Right.
And makest thy boast of God.
Right.
And knows his will.
Read.
And approvest the things that are more excellent.
See, this is what they were doing. They were approving the things or saying that the things of excellent are most high. But you got this hate. You want to kill me. You want to kill me, but you trying to check me on the law? You hate your brother, but you trying to check about the law, and you're not even right. You don't even got the clear understanding. So you want to kill me off the lack of understanding you got. Paul came back and was like, look, y'all, these cats, man. Go ahead.
Being instructed out of the law, and are confident that thou thyself are a guide of the blind.
Because we are. We be confident. Hey, I don't eat pork. Right? Wear your fringes. Grow your beard. Don't mar the corners of your head. Right? Men don't dress like women. Women don't dress like men. Right? We're confident because we know it. But we can't be confident like the Pharisees. We can't go to the point to where, you know what I mean, your friends checking somebody. Right? They come in and now you don't give them the opportunity to get fringes. Brother, where's your fringes at? Well, I only got one shirt and it was dirty. I should have just chilled and already knew that. He just got in the truth. She just got in. Where's your dresses at, sister? I had a mistake on my dress and I only got one dress. We had a sister tell us that. You know what I mean? Hey, y'all not going to get mad at me because I ain't got no dresses. We're like, sis, come to class and learn. You know what I mean? The outward man, that's going to catch up. As you're learning, what? Okay, damn, no more pork? It comes out in class. You get checked. Celebrating Christmas. You're like, okay, got to throw the Christmas tree away in the attic. You get checked. That happens. But a lot of time, what don't happen is the spiritual person in the inside. And that's what was wrong with the Pharisees. Paul came back and he was checking them. He was like an extension of what Yahushua was doing. Checking all that madness that was in them. Go ahead.
A light of them which are in darkness.
Right.
An instructor of the foolish.
Go ahead.
A teacher of babes.
Right.
Which has the form of knowledge.
Yeah, you have the form of knowledge. And remember, this is a check. So we got to be clear in understanding not to act like this. That doesn't mean we're not going to still uplift the law, push the law, tell people righteousness, right? Because we have to. The law is for the lawless, right? The disobedient, whoremongers, adulterers, murderers, killers, man-stealers. He went off in 1 Timothy's, right? He tells us what the law is for. But at the same time, it's with clarity this time. I understand, Khan, that sister, that brother is going to get the dress, get the fringes, and get it. I don't have to be like, bruh, look at you, nigga. You ain't no real Hebrew. You know what I mean? Look at you. Because I don't got it all together. I had to recently do all my fringes all over again because all my shirts shrunk. You know what I mean? The only way you wear my shirts now is you got to be slim and sexy. You know what I mean? They all fit like 12, 13-year-olds. But what does brother go say? Yo, where your friends is at? Yeah, they will. I remember we went to Atlanta. It was me, Mashaba, and Bonabad. Mashaba's been in the truth since 19 years old. Bonabad's been in the truth since about 19 or 20 also. I've been in the truth since 15. They're all in their 50s. I'm in my 40s. You got a cat come up. I'm not joking. This cat had leprosy. He had blotches on all his skin. So I had my fringes on. Because I stayed loaded, right? I stayed loaded for hypocritical mockers. Mashaba had his fringes on. Bonabad, we was moving, And he just threw another shirt on. This cat came up out of nowhere. This is 20-some years in the truth. He said, 30-some years, right? He said, where's your fringes? It shows you that instead of you building a relationship as a brother, hey, shalom, how y'all brothers doing? We all Israel. He didn't know Barnabas from nowhere. Barnabas could have been a new brother, right? That just came in a week before. For all that he could have known. But the first reaction is, but where's your fringes? And that's what shuts people down, and it doesn't show them how to really perform the law. Hypocritical mockers at feasts. It's hypocritical. And that's what Paul is trying to show us. That we don't supposed to be doing that. You know what I mean? We are the teachers of the law. Obviously, if they don't got their fringes, if you're street speaking, first of all, majority of everybody that come past is filthy. A Gentile, right? And if they not Gentiles, they're in a Gentile state of mind. But your job is to do, like the scriptures say, win them over. Right? Not assert the law that they're not keeping and make them feel like crap. You're going to check them. We're going to tell them what the world is doing wicked. But I got to point you out physically. And where's your beard, brother? And what that one brother online told him, he said, my job makes me cut my beard. I want to grow my beard, but my job. So the brothers are arguing with this cat back and forth about that. But he was trying to listen. You see, he didn't give that time. One planteth, one watereth, the Most High gives the increase. You see that? You can't force the course of the river. You can't force it on somebody. I tell you the law, this is what it says. Of course we expect you to keep it. Because if you hear after a few months and you ain't performing it, you're going to get checked, right? Like we said yesterday. We see your beard, you're lining it up. We're going to be like, hey, we might just go over a class on it. I might not hit you straight up, but we're going to remind you, hey, and brothers ain't keeping the law and they shaving their beard. Right?
What they call it in corporate probationary period.
Right. After a certain time, the law is supposed to still be going in you. But you don't know who you're meeting. You got to give the opportunity. These are the things that Paul was constantly checking the hypocrites. Yahweh Shai was checking these hypocritical cats. Right? Go ahead, read on.
An instructor of the foolish.
Right.
A teacher of babes.
Right.
Which has the form of knowledge.
Right.
And of the truth in the law.
Read.
Thou therefore, which teachest another, teachest thou not thyself?
Right. And that's what Yahweh Shai was telling them. You're a hypocrite. You ain't teaching yourself. You're not embodying the law. Because you want to kill me on the Sabbath. You want to fight me on the Sabbath. Now, and I'm only doing this to bring out the examples in the scriptures. You got a brother check you about the Sabbath, but they can go hit somebody with a staff in the forehead on the Sabbath. Why? Not saying that it's not lawful for you to protect yourself, but you would do that quick to protect yourself, right? You would jump out of the law real quick to be like, okay, I was threatened, pow! Right in the forehead, right? I'm giving y'all things to think about. We can't be hypocrites. We cannot be Pharisees.
Right.
That's why they wanted to kill Yahweh Shai. This is why they didn't understand what Yahweh Shai was giving them. Go ahead, read.
Thou that preachest a man should not steal.
Right.
Dost thou steal?
Read.
Thou that sayest a man should not commit adultery. Dost thou commit adultery?
Right. So are you doing it? And for the Christians, this ain't saying, oh, I don't got to keep no laws. This is saying, don't be a hypocrite. This is saying, if you're going to keep the law, have understanding so you can keep the law righteously and you won't look like a damn hypocrite. Right? This is what that's saying. It's not saying, oh yeah, you don't got to do. Somebody said that to the other day to a brother. He was telling me, he was like, yeah, the Christians is just like, you don't got to keep nothing. But we know what he's telling us here is, if you're going to do it, keep it, say it, then live by it. That's all he's saying. Live by what you're saying. Go ahead.
Thou that abhorrest idols, dost thou commit sacrilege?
Read.
Thou that makest thy boast of the law, through breaking the law, dishonorest thou God?
Right.
For the name of God is blasphemed among the Gentiles through you.
How? You'll be out there with your fringes. You'll say you're keepers of the law, but you won't teach and deal with the nations in Israel right according to the law. I know. Some of you Israelites are going to be mad as hell when they see this one. They're going to be pissed off. Why? Because they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear you ain't keeping the Sabbath correctly. You ain't keeping the law correctly. These are things that we have to look at ourselves and say, man, I can't be like Paul is saying. I can't be a defender of the law, but then hypocritical. Y'all see this? You got to watch that spirit of a hypocrite. And you got to understand what the hell you're dealing with. Read, come on.
Verse 25. For circumcision verily profiteth.
Right?
If thou keep the law.
Right, meaning you can be circumcised all you want. You can have your beard all you want. Go ahead.
But if thou be a breaker of the law,
Right?
thy circumcision is made uncircumcision.
So, you're trying to tell me just because these Jews out here is Jews, they Israelites, born Israelites, that makes them holier? Niggas selling dope, drugs, murder, no. So Paul was checking that pride, and us too in here. If we are circumcised, we got the law, we got our armbands, ching ching, we got our headband, right? But then we do against that, and we're being hypocritical, and we're judging the wrong way, then it doesn't matter. You making the truth look like a lie. Read.
Verse 26. Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law.
So, if you see an uncircumcised brother, like we had a brother come in, and for the first 4 years, he was like, yeah, I'm not circumcised, I got to get it done, right? So we were like, Con, get it done, bro. If you can, get it done. You trying to tell me because he wasn't circumcised, he wasn't righteous and he couldn't follow the law? No, that's what he's saying here. Read it again.
Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law.
So that uncircumcised man keep the righteousness of the law. Go ahead.
Shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision?
Yes. Just because if your beard hasn't grown back in yet, is that gonna say, oh, you know what, bro? You're not righteous because it hasn't grown back in fully? You're still the old man until it finally grows in. Y'all see this? This is the mind state that we can go into when dealing with the law, and we have to watch it. Now, let's go back to Matthew 5:17. We're going to go into the law. We're going to go into this law. We're going to go into this law. Read Matthew 5:17. Come on.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 17.
Go ahead.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
Uh-huh.
Or the prophet.
Right. Y'all know this. Go ahead.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
Read.
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
But he picked corn on the Sabbath. He healed on the Sabbath. So, are we clear that Yahweh Shai did not break the Sabbath? Are we clear? Huh? We're clear that he didn't break the Sabbath, right?
God.
We're clear that he kept the law, right?
God.
All right, so we can hit those Christians over the head real quick too. Read.
Till all be fulfilled.
Right?
Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments.
Right, and we're not telling you to do that. We're telling you to follow the law like Yahweh Shai did, because the Pharisees didn't understand the law. Read.
And shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Right, read.
But whosoever shall do and teach them,
Right.
the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Right, so we know we have to keep the law. But we're going to keep the law in the spirit, in righteousness, not hypocritical, not carnal. Read.
Verse 20. For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes.
Not only are you going to keep the law, you have to understand the law, but exceed the mentality of the Pharisees and scribes. They got the law. They knew the law, obviously. But what did you have to exceed into? You had to exceed into the spirit. Khan, you know the letter, but move past the letter. Read.
Except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees.
Right.
Ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Right. Now, check this out. How did they understand the law? And how did Yahweh Shai understand the law? How does a lot of people understand the laws and commandments as opposed to the way they're supposed to be kept? Check this. Read.
Verse 21. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill.
So, a brother would say, bro, I ain't killed nobody. Right? And he will proclaim his righteousness within that. Go ahead.
And whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment.
That's what the law said, right? That's what him said.
That's what it said.
That's what it applied to, right? Go ahead.
But I say unto you,
But Yahweh Shai is going to take you a little deeper. You're right. Don't kill. But Khan, I'm going to get you a little deeper in the spirit here. Read.
that whosoever is angry with his brother.
Stop. This is how they dealt with the Sabbath. They kept the forefront of it, but didn't understand the whole depthness of it. And that's what they did with the law. Oh, I didn't kill, so I'm righteous. I can hate him, despise him, hate her, despise her, get nauseous when she comes around, but because I ain't kill her, I'm what? I'm righteous. Man, don't play. You can't play with this. The Most High is not joking. Yahweh Shai came back and showed you, Khan, you did good. You didn't kill. But you got so much hate in your heart. You think that's going to get you to the kingdom? That's why I said, because you kept the Sabbath, you didn't eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, you sat there in the closet, you made it right. But when you deal with that brother, you get nauseous. You looking at him and you know what I mean? I hate this nigga. I don't like the nigga, how he talk. You think that's going to get you to the kingdom? This is the spirituality of the law in these instances that we didn't get. We didn't see it. The Pharisees didn't see it. So Yahweh Shai said, okay, yeah, you're doing good, but you got to exceed the righteousness of the Pharisees. Go ahead.
That whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause.
If he's what?
Angry with his brother without a cause.
Because really, there'd be a lot of anger in a lot of brothers and sisters, and it'd be no reason. Like I said yesterday, the $30 you be owing them money, or they did something to you that can be forgiven, right? That's where the spirit of the law is. Where's your conscience, and how is it formulating and dealing with your people, your nation? You're living on the forefront of the letter, but you don't even keep the spirit. Read.
That whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause,
right,
shall be in danger of the judgment.
Right.
And whosoever shall say to his brother,
right,
Rakah, shall be in danger of the council.
Right. And you know what's so beautiful? This is in the law. But they never put it together. It's in the law. Yahushua is not saying nothing different that was written in the scriptures. But he's showing them the depthness of what they forgot. The extra layer I was talking about yesterday that they forgot. So that's why I went into this question in this depthness just to show, man, how yesterday's class and the question he asked, it was all in one, really. Because when we get into this thing about the Sabbath, we found out that you ain't even celebrating the Sabbath correctly. You don't keep the laws correctly. How many brothers in these schools and camps got issues and can go online quick and talk about another brother and slander him and don't even know that man? How many of you Israelites get on Facebook, don't know that god dang it situation of any camp that's going on, and you're going off a rumor? Yeah, see, I knew they were. I knew this was going to happen. It's like, but you want to argue about the Sabbath in the law. The scriptures say don't slander. Do correct judgment. You don't know what the hell is going on in those schools. For all I can be said is somebody making that whole story up. But you jump right on the bandwagon because you don't like the acronym or that school, or you don't like these brothers. So you jump on the bandwagon. Hypocritical mockers, man. Those are the things we got to stop to exceed the Pharisees, to move into the spirit. Go ahead, read.
But whosoever shall say, thou fool,
Right?
shall be in danger of hell fire.
And we know all through the scriptures it tells us, the scriptures say what a fool is. So he's not speaking in the context. You can't tell a brother he's being foolish. What it's saying is that you have condemned this man. In your mind, you shut him off. There's no more return. I can't forgive him. 70 times 7, hell no. He wore it 70 times 7 out. Right? This is what it's saying. Because we know all through the Bible, Yahushua checked Peter, and he told him what? He went past it. He said, thou hast a devil. So Yahushua is not saying you can't check a brother. What he's saying is that you went so far beyond, and you haven't gave this brother the opportunity to be forgiven and to let go of the hatred and anger you got in yourself. All right, go ahead.
Verse 23. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother hath aught against thee,
Right.
leave there thy gift before the altar.
You see how further you had to move into the spirit? He was like, I don't even want your alms. I don't even want you to hoop, ride, jump around, and act like you're righteous unless you can go fix it with your brother. Go ahead.
No, he's showing you right here that anything that you're doing, if you're not following the spiritualness of the law, he's not going to accept what you're giving. So because you're a keeper, you're a Pharisee, you're a Sadducee of the law, that's still unacceptable in the eyes of the Most High. Why? Because you still got all these spiritual things hidden in you that you're not portraying the fullness of the law.
And thou that judges not thyself. You know, the thing is that you can't forgive this brother, but you want forgiveness. Man, you don't know how many people we deal with like that in the truth. In the camps, they come in with this worldly mind, and then they get fortified. They get fortified with the works and the law, and I'm keeping the law. They celebrate righteousness. They show up to the feast days. But then that one brother make a mistake, that one sister make a mistake, they don't got the mercy of the Most High. David committed adultery and murder. And the Most High forgave him. Yes, with punishment, because you're going to get checked. But he forgave him. Just showing us the mentality, it be wrong. You be way off. Your logic and the way you understand scriptures, y'all cats be way off. That's why you think all you can do is just get knowledge. That's where this comes from. All I got to do is get knowledge, then I can yell the Bible.
That's why the scripture says with all that knowledge, get understanding.
A lot of brothers and sisters think, oh, I just got to get knowledge. And see, look, I got notes, so now I'm a priest. Bruh, there's a lot of inward work we got to do. And consistently do. And at least recognize it. You got to recognize the beast within you. You got to recognize that oldness in you and the old man and the old way of thinking. And then at the same time, I'm going to say this. We got to be taught correctly. We have to be shown this part. I said it yesterday, or else we're not going to enter into the kingdom.
I like this also, how we're going over. He's saying, okay, so you're making this boast about not being a murderer and not being a killer of your brother, but you're already premeditating that in your mind. You're already premeditating that in what's going to be the buildup to get you to become the murderer.
Right. It can eventually get you there to that level. But if it don't, how about you just sitting around just hate, right?
Well, I mean, but it will, because
you're right.
It's going to trickle because you.
But a lot of times it don't.
Well, I'm saying
like you deal with a lot of brothers and sisters that got hatred. Yeah, 99% of them don't go murder the person they hate.
Well, I mean,
unless they got full big demons on them.
Right.
Niggas is in the hood, they own coke, they done, pounds of dope. You know what I mean? But what you're saying is correct. I'm just saying that it resides, it festers in them.
And then, okay, so if you don't do the murdering,
right,
and you don't do that, but it's still going to leak into the other actions.
Yeah.
When you have to deal brotherly or sisterly with that individual.
Yeah.
Now you're going to give them the cold shoulder. You are going to ultimately offend them, and then they might want to back up out of the work of the Most High. Why?
Yeah.
Because of your offenses towards them, because you feel something away.
Yeah. You just say you talk like this. I just don't like that sister. I don't know. It just seems like this. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be clearing your mind. Khan, you got to have a bit. And I'm not saying you can't recognize that niggas be foolish. But at the same time, you got to know it's not build up hatred and negative within you. Right? Because that can go to, I can't do nothing with that sister. I can't sit down with that sister, eat with that sister, forgive that sister, talk with that sister, talk with that brother. Y'all get that? Right. So, I mean, go ahead. Let's finish it up, man.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 24.
We don't have to go over again today. And Johnny didn't make it, so I'll wait till he gets in class and go over his topic.
You got another question?
Yeah. Okay. All right. We can end that question on there, and I'll jump over to the other question. Last 10 minutes.
This is Davian.
Get out of here.
This was Davian. He said, can you touch on the lunar Sabbath? Just asking.
The lunar Sabbath, and you know what? I'm going to be straight out with you on that. I got to get more into understanding the moons. We usually have a priest that does that, and we go by the knowledge he got. Now, when I started to get into that, I see there's a discrepancy with certain brothers. And that's why we don't get into the new moons and all that, because it's just going to be another argument. Well, y'all, the moon is when it's not seen. Oh, no, the moon is when it is seen. Well, the scripture says, don't let no man judge you in the new moons and all these things. So, to keep that chaos out of the way, remember, we celebrate the Sabbath, the 7-day Sabbath. So when you get into the lunar and all that and trying to figure that out, there's been two parts. There are certain brothers that say the first moon is the unseen moon. And then there's another brothers that say, I think it's the first sliver, right, of the moon. Yeah, and so it's been a little bit of discrepancy with that. Me, I'm not looking up to the dang moon and worried about the moons. I'm not worried about the moon cycles. I'm worried about doing the will of the Most High and having what we do have, using that and keeping the laws. That's not saying, Dawiyat, I can't look into it for you. But I'm just letting you know as far as what understanding I have now on that. It's not a lot on the new moon cycles, right? Or the lunar cycle. All right, what else we got?
That was it.
That was it?
Yeah.
So, what's his name again? How to rock. Let me know if that suffice on the question, if that helped you out a little bit, gave you some understanding, the scriptures we went to on there. All right. All right. So we'll wait a few seconds. We'll wait a few seconds to see if anybody has anything else. Yeah.
What type of fish are we allowed to eat?
So let's go to Leviticus 11. Yeah, go to Leviticus 11 real quick. What type of fish? The brother asked, what type of fish are we allowed to eat? Leviticus 11, and let's jump to the fish. Yeah, verse 9.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 9.
Uh-huh.
These shall ye eat of all that are in the water.
Right.
Whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
So he made it very simple when coming to the fish. So you got a very easy question answer in every very easy question. Scripture made it real easy. Fins and scales.
I asked you because, like, I go like aquafishing. I catch puzzles, but you got some fish that bottom feed,
Yeah.
some are hunters. Just
Right.
like the animals.
Exactly.
And I know we're not allowed to eat crabs and shrimp because they're bottom feed.
Right.
And the fish that I typically choose to go out there, stuff like red drum.
Red what?
Red drum.
Right. So what you do is you look up red drum and see if they got fins and scales. If it don't got fins and scales, you can't eat it. So it does have fins and scales? What is it called?
Puppy drum, red fish.
Red fish.
Yes.
It's good? He's a fish guy too. Right, yeah. Yeah, we be doing those little po' boy nights at our house. You know what I mean? We make the po' boys, he does the fried fish. Yeah. Oh yeah, we gonna have to invite you. We're gonna have to invite you since you're a fish man. Yeah, it's easy. Fins and scales. So, you know, if you, second question, just because sometimes the scales ain't seen, they're really small or light, you got to just check. Yeah, double check it, Google it. Because there's so many fish. And then Esau done threw some, they threw,
Like tilapia. Tilapia was lawful, but it's not. That's a man-made fish. That was a hybrid. That's a hybrid fish. Then they farm it, and then they feed it. They feed it.
so when you say hybrid, are they genetically modified or are they a mixture of two fish?
It's either a mixture of two fish or it's GMO.
Okay, all right, because that's why, you know, every time we talked about that, about tilapia, because they got fins and scales.
It does.
But you're saying it's genetically modified, right? Yeah.
The ones that they feed in the store.
And then what they were doing for a minute with salmon, because Israel loves salmon, right? They were merging salmon to make it more beefier, more thicker. They were merging eel with salmon.
Oh,
They were merging eel with salmon and then pork with salmon too.
I mean, remember, there's a lot of things that y'all are not gonna know they're not gonna know what they're doing. We're not gonna know.
Yeah.
There's a lot more things. I mean, if we go to the lawful foods, come on now.
Oh,
Just the lawful foods we eat.
we were talking about Doritos because I love.
Yeah, we found out Doritos, like all Doritos have pork in it.
Oh yeah, just about everything. Deodorant, the wave brush made for kids, big.
Yeah. So, and a lot of these things you can avoid. You don't got to eat damn Doritos. Ain't nobody could kill you. That ain't gonna kill you if you stop eating Doritos. So you got to cut it out.
And as far as the fish,
That's the kids. I had to shut the kids down. They want those Doritos. They're like, never no more. Then they, what was it? The red,
and she
Like, we checked it again.
hot fry.
oh wait, you checked it?
Yeah, one day it said it was not okay, and then we checked it again and it was.
So what you do is you check it through another app
Right.
to double check that. Because, you know, the thing about Doritos, you're checking all those chemicals. And because they changed the names. So I'm gonna correct myself, y'all. They said they checked it again, and it said it was okay. But all we got to do is double check somewhere else. It's like when you study and you research. I was always shown to you go through 1, 2, 3 sources of information, and that's how you get. And I'm talking about historical information. So yeah. So I guess you can't eat Doritos until they check it again. Yeah.
I was gonna say, as far as fish, as far as when you're doing the fish, the best fish you always want to get is you want to get fresh caught. You want to get, yeah. Oh, I mean, even
Where you catch him at? You know what? Because we were riding the other day, and we were like, "What are they doing? What are they doing?" And they were just over the bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh yeah, we seen these cats just right over the bridge. Just
It might have been me, probably when I was walking up, or was they at the top, just sitting at the top?
yeah, they were there on the bridge. Like,
I'll walk up the bridge and go into the field, but I ain't sitting at the top.
oh, you go down there and do your fish. Is it easy? We need to take us one day. I ain't never been fishing. Hey, we love some free fish. You know what I mean?
But no.
Is it easy?
Well, it just takes forever. They'll mess the water up over here.
So the fish don't come that much.
It's still here, but it's not as many as it was because we used to have an old military installation right here.
Yeah.
by the bridge, and it was a long pier that went from the boat dock all the way around. They took all of that up, so most of the fish are gone because of that. That's where they used to come in and feed.
Yeah.
They used to punish them when they can't fit that long.
Oh, that's dope. No, I was saying that because Tahawam out there in Houston, he went fishing the other day, and I was like, damn, I want to go. I ain't never been fishing. I was like, that'd be cool. Take the kids out to fishing, but
You can see why most of the disciples were fishing.
right? Oh yeah, I love fish. Oh, I can love some grilled fish. They had this spot in New Mexico. They used to grill. Trout. Oh, it was like real small pieces of trout. It was so good. And yeah, some grill. Right? Go ahead.
But let me finish saying this. So like, because when you look at the packages, even like I get some from like either Walmart or the farmers market. Farmers market, they have a lot of varieties of fresh caught fish. So, but if you're not accessible where you can go to get fresh captured fish, then what you want to do is you want to look at the label and make sure it's fresh catch or it's wild caught and not farm raised.
Oh, it tells you that on there?
Yeah, it does, because the farm raised, Esau be feeding them. They be feeding them pig feed and parts of pig because they're trying to beef up the fish, especially the salmon. You always want to get that wild caught.
Ah.
And they was, I watched it was a documentary, they were saying the same thing he was saying, but they was also talking about how these farm raised fish, they're not healthy because they don't get travel. So fish travel, they don't never stay in stagnant water. So you got these farm raised fish in stagnant water with all this feces, the fish is the same thing everybody else do. And you're not cleaning it out, they eat it. So that's what people say, that's a nasty.
Isaiah 24 verse 5, the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they transgress the laws, the covenants, all these things. It's like the process, the way this beast thinks, he himself is a beast, so the way he does things is beastly. So that's why everything, the whole earth is out of course. Psalms 90, right? Everything is out of course. Everything is out of its nature. The trees, the air, the water, everything this man did is messed up the world. Yep. Yep. Yeah.
I know I wanted to ask you, because I keep hearing brothers say, this was been on my mind. I keep hearing brothers say when they talk about the new kingdom coming back and there will be no more seeds.
No more what?
Seeds. Like we got seeds now. I was listening to brothers on YouTube, they were talking about how when the new kingdom come down from heaven, and death be placed on earth, there's going to be no more seeds on the earth, like Pacific Ocean.
No, that ain't true. That ain't true. You might see. This is the thing. You gotta. Yeah, you might have took it wrong, or I'm hoping they ain't saying nothing dumb like that, because that's not what the scriptures say. Where's that at? It's not there. Unless you're talking about where it refers to the nations. Yeah, because the seas refers to the nations in instances in Revelations.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, so
I'm thinking of a literal.
so they probably were, depending on where you jumped in the edification on that point, you know, you might have misheard them, and I'm hoping that is the case. Yeah, so yeah, because we're definitely going to have seas. The water, the earth, everything is going to be brought back to its natural form. You know? Remember, the earth is never going to be cut off. Man is going to be cut off out of it. Wicked is going to be cut off out of it. The earth is going to just be renewed. Yeah, we can go over that too. We can hit that on some scriptures on that another time. Yes, sir. Is that it? Okay. Anything online?
That was it.
All right. Remember, it is the Shabbat tonight. Brothers and sisters, try to stay away from the arguing, the fighting, the drama, the foolishness. You know, keep your minds clear, man, and keep it on the Most High, man. So other than that, let's salute them. Everybody say shalom.
Shalom.
Y'all know the deal. Sabbath morning class in H-Town. So tune in tomorrow morning. Be there, be square. All right? Everybody else, I Majum Wapunya Hakwadam, rise and face the east.
The Bible on cop. The Most High is my rock. TK. Rock. The Most High is my rock. Rock. The Most High is my rock. My rock. The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah, the Most High is my rock. Rock. The Most High is my rock. My rock. The Most High is my rock.